Yeah, and that's what's I think kind of hard about it too is like the expectations for like you to be like superhuman sort of like in the sense of like this person was out till 1 a.m. Like why? What the hell? Like what are you doing at 1 a.m? Like bro, like calm down.
Why are you texting?
Yeah,
Like
calm down. Or like I was out till 3 a.m. to try to like create a conversation. Like dude, like what? Like that's like at some point in time it just like gets weird for me. And like, I think that was kind of like, it was just sort of the way you have to go about things to be successful in it. It's just not for me. Like, it's just, I just don't see myself being successful that way. And at first it really bothered me, right? Because I really do believe if I can put my mind to something, I can be good at it regardless, right? I really do feel like I can be good at whatever I put my mind to, which I'm sure you do as well, Nataly. But like for me, I just didn't, I realized that success comes in many different forms. And it's like, I'm gonna take that energy that I've been putting there and let me put it into something that I actually like, that I actually enjoy, which in all actuality honestly has more opportunity and upside than this ever will for me. Because you're like we talked about, when you're in an MLM, you're a piece of the puzzle. You never are the puzzle.
Yeah.
And it's like, I'm not willing to do that. Like I'm not saying I'm the end all be all, I'm the most important person on the face of the planet, but like at some point in time, you have to put yourself before other things. And it's like when you're in something like this, it's always about the team, or do it for somebody else, like do it for this, that, like you kind of have to be selfish in life.
And they define success in, like you said, like success can be in a completely different way than what I think, than what you think, than what somebody else would think. But for them, success was always who had a new Chanel bag, who had new Gucci shoes, who would be going out to the most expensive restaurant in Miami, who would be having like all this money to flash around. And in a way, with a lot of them, I knew that they were able to afford that. So it was like, great for you that you're able to afford it. But for a lot of them, they weren't able to afford it. They would actually put that on credit cards in order for them to keep up with the lifestyle that everybody had, because you had to portray that. You had to portray that success lifestyle in order for somebody to come and join. But then think about it, it's like, what does that really bring you? Since when success is defined by how many handbags, how many shoes do you have? Like, like at least for me, success was able to, like 2 years ago, be able to buy my mom a house. That was where I don't anything like brand name, but for me that was like a huge milestone. It's like I was able to get my mom a house, But and they make you feel bad too if you don't have like kind of like at the same level as them.
It's interesting.
Like if you don't have the same level, because they don't have the same one. If you don't have the same thing as them, then it's because you are not doing as good as them. So it's like, look at what I have. It's because I busted my ass for it. It's because I'm doing great. Where is yours? You don't have it because you're not working hard enough on this.
That's just so funny too, because like for me, like it's so hard because like I'm a very blunt person and like I'm gonna say what I want to say regardless. I might hurt people's feelings saying what I'm about to say now, but it's like we would have like meetings and things like that on like Tuesdays and like on Sundays, and people would get recognized for like doing work and things like that. And I was like, dude, I don't care. Like I don't care. Like you're a human just like me, and that was one thing that was really weird for me, really really weird actually, because it's like these like our uplines, like they're treated like God. Yeah. Like they're literally treated like they're Jesus walking the earth. Like bro, like I don't, like you're not my dad, dude. Like you're not an idol to me. Like I don't look up to you. Like you don't, like you're not a role model for me. Like I have two role models, my dad and my brother. Like you're not either one of them. So it's like I'm not gonna look at you and be all googly eyed and like drooling over you. Like bro, it's not gonna happen. And it's like that was just so weird, because like you see like the big upline go up on stage and people like literally shit themselves. It's like, calm down. Like he bleeds the same blood. He's a human being. Like well, it's very very weird.
And
very weird.
And you cannot question it either. Like in one of those phone calls, like the very few that I was able to get in, nobody would question anything that the biggest offline would say. And I would have so many questions, but then of course, like I didn't want to be left out. It was kind of like my fear of like not saying anything. But a lot of times I was like, this doesn't sound right. And I would ask my aunt offline the questions, and she would just be like, no, just listen to her. She got successful in this business because of everything that she has been saying. It's like, yes, but this doesn't sound right. This doesn't like really click in my head. It's like, no, you cannot question it.
Right.
You know, like she's successful. Don't you want the Cadillac? Don't you want to like have $1 million? Don't you want to have all of this? In a way, I really don't, because I don't want to pay those taxes. But like, let's be fully honest, I really don't.
Seriously.
But it was always like, don't you want to be like where she's at? Look at where she's living. Look at what she has. Look at like all these people that she has underneath her. And it's like, she has like 3,000 people in her town. Like, I don't really want to be like guiding 3,000 people into the light per se. I don't want that responsibility. Like with one of my uplines, I remember that, which like my direct upline would tell me, it's like, oh, you know, you just have to go because she's making 5 figures a month. And I didn't see it at that moment, I saw it later, especially after I was hanging out with her for a little while. But I kept thinking after I was hanging out with her, if you are making 5 figures a month because of this, why are you still working a 9 to 5, especially when you talk so much shit about a 9 to 5? I mean, like, what kind of lifestyle do you have that not only you're working 9 to 5, but supposedly this business is giving you 5 figures a month?
Yeah, I doubt it. If you're making 5 figures a month, you're a millionaire by like 8 months into the year almost.
Yeah. So it's like, okay, what kind of lifestyle do you have that you also need a 9 to 5, especially when all of you talk so much shit about a 9 to 5.
Right.
And I also saw this happen recently with one of the girls, because of course you have to qualify for the car, but they don't really read the fine print of what having the car entails to. This poor girl hasn't qualified for the car for like, I don't know how many months. I think
A
she's
car or a car?
A car.
A car.
Yeah, you get qualified for a free Cadillac. Yes.
What?
But again, these girls don't read the fine print.
A free Cadillac?
It's not
How
really
does that work?
It's not free.
Yeah,
Not
I
free.
figured,
It's
yeah.
not free. First of all, you have to be able to qualify for 5 months straight, meaning that you have to keep in the same rank for 5 months straight. After that, you are able to qualify and you're able to go into Cadillac and check out the car that you want. It has to be not an older model than like 2 years ago. It has to be white. The inside can be whatever you want. But here's the catch. You can either lease it or buy it, but it's gonna be under your name. So a lot of these girls are qualified for it. But of course, when they go to Cadillac, they cannot really get it because they don't have any proof of actual income, and they don't have a cosigner that will be like, yes, for sure, let's do it. Now, with this specific company, they will give you a car bonus every single month if you keep your rank, but that only goes towards the lease. That doesn't go towards your gas, it doesn't go towards your insurance, it doesn't go to any repairs that you would need to do to the car. And then again, the car is under your name. So if you do not keep up with your rank for that month, you can say goodbye to that car bonus, and now you have to pay for that. So it's not really free. It's not really free. And they, like again, if you read the fine print, they do give you like a 2-month grace period that they will, forgive you for not keeping your rank. But it cannot be 2 consecutive months. And still, those are only 2 months out of the 12. So if you already used those 2 months, let's say like in between January to April or January to May, you still have half the year to pay for this car if you want to keep having it.
Right.
So that's why a lot of these girls, yeah, you see them with the car, you see them with the picture, but then they have to return it. Those cars get recalled because they cannot afford it. But like sometimes, like I'm saying, they are qualified, like this specific girl, she has been qualified since August last year. She still doesn't have it. She actually recently had to get a job in order for her to prove some income so she can go and get it. Because Cadillac was like, how did I give you a car? You don't have any proof of income. You cannot afford this. But that's another tactic that they use in order for you to join. It's like, yeah, let's go on, they're gonna give you a free car. You're gonna be driving a free car with nothing that you're gonna have to pay for.
Very interesting. Wow, did not know that. Very interesting. And I think, it's so tricky, right? Because again, I'm so, all in all, I would do it all over again if I had to. And I would do it all over again. Not even if I had to. If I had the choice, I would do it again, because for me, I grew so much, right? And in my mentality with my income, my finances is so much better because I was a part of it. My mindset about, attacking each day is so much better because of it. My relationship with God got stronger because of it. There's a lot of things that got enhanced because I was around people like that. But it's like, if I'm not learning and growing and getting better, I lose interest. So for me, at a certain point in time, I was just I'm just disinterested. This is the same stuff now. When I hear people talk, it's the same thing. Oh, you gotta do this, that, such, and the other. I wrote that down 45 times already. Oh, you have to do this and that to do this, and you're gonna get that. And then imagine what your life will look like. Trust me, I know, I've heard that 100 times. Or oh, look at this upline that has, the greatest life in the world. Oh, okay, how long has he been in business for? 30 years. So, by the time I'm 56,
You will be successful.
I'll be successful. I think I'll take my chances elsewhere.
That's another thing. I'm not, and this is not an attack on anybody. If some people like it, that's on you.
Right.
I am not a fan of motivational videos or motivational speakers.
Me either.
Like you said, my motivation comes from inside, from waking up every day and pretty much not seeing something change. That's on me. But that's what they would call personal development. And I don't really need to hear somebody that is things more successful than them to tell me, oh, if I can do it, you can as well. I don't need that. And it's not really going to motivate me to do anything. Again, if people do it, that's great for them. But my mindset is, if you wake up every day and your life is not where you want it to be, or let's say fitness-wise, you wake up and you don't like what you're looking at the mirror, then that should be motivation enough for you to actually go and get things done.
And that was my thing too. At a certain point in time, how many times do you have to get hit in the face to understand, hey, maybe there is something up? Because it's oh, okay. If it's really this grand and this great, then why is it such a taboo thing? Why is the fail rate so high, right? Why do more people drop out than people stay? It's you just start to look at the writing on the wall and you start to think okay, I have faith, I have belief, this, that, such, and the other, but at what point in time do you look at the facts and you stop trying to argue with factual things? You know what I'm saying? It's and that was one thing for me, it's, if you want to call it quitting, if you want to call it, I don't. Because I don't really think I owe anybody anything. So if you quit, you owed somebody something you needed to fulfill. So for me, I don't think I did, and I don't really give a shit what people think anyway.
No,
So, but it was, I just started to come to the realization, I just don't, for me at least, I just don't really think this is what it's cracked up to be. And again, I think also for me, similar to you, Nataly, when you have enough faith and belief in yourself, you don't need to put all your eggs in one basket. And that's what you need to do to be successful in that. You have to put everything you have into that. And it's I'm not, number one, I'm not going to put everything I have into one thing ever. Number two, I'm never going to put all my eggs into a basket that I hate to carry. Number three, I'm not going to put all my eggs into a basket where I'm going to have to babysit people my whole life. I'm not doing that, dude. And it's that's what MLMs are. It's glorified babysitting.
Yeah.
It's you always have to check up on people. You always have to babysit. Oh, you're doing this. Are you doing that? Oh, your finances aren't in the right place. Oh, let's try to fix, nah, dude. No, I have enough stuff to figure out on my own. And one thing that I kind of felt is that, and I hope I don't offend anybody when I say this, but to me, it really felt like, it feels as though MLMs prey on those that are desperate.
Mm-hmm.
That's what I started to realize. It preys on people who are desperate.
Mm-hmm.
Desperate for change and don't know any other way. Desperate to try to do something better for themselves. They don't know any other way, so they just jump at the first thing that comes up to them. And I don't think desperation is an emotion that leads you in a way that you're supposed to go.
Yeah, because you feel vulnerable. So pretty much when you're down, instead of you pretty much looking at the big picture, somebody else will come and be like, okay, you know what? He or she is down. Let me get it back up right now, but let me get it on my side. Because they're already down. They don't know any better. So they are just gonna go for whoever looks the happiest, and they're gonna be following that path because they also wanna be happy. So it is messed up to say that, but it's the truth.
Right?
Like a lot of
Yeah, I saw it.
a lot of people get into this because sometimes they don't have any friends. Sometimes they don't have anywhere where they belong, and in a way, all humans, we wanna be part of something. We all wanna feel like we do belong. That's why you see people on book clubs. That's why you see people at gyms.
Sure.
That's why you see people even going to college. Like, yeah, you're going because of a degree, but you're also going because you wanna feel part of something. It's even with jobs. You wanna feel part of a team. You wanna feel part that you're doing
Right.
something good. So with a lot of these people that don't have that, that's their way into like, oh my God, I belong. And then again, toxic positivity. Everybody over here loves me. Everybody makes me feel good. So yes, I found my happy place. I found a group of people that like me. I found a group of people that are gonna push me every day. But what happens if one day you are not too happy to push for that day? They will make you feel bad for it. Like, no, you have to be happy. You have to be pushing every single day. Like, you don't have to be pushing every single day. You are entitled to have a bad day. You are entitled to like be down for one day and be like, you know what, today I wasn't so awesome, and that's okay. Tomorrow I'll try again.
Right.
Without anybody telling you, no, you suck for not being awesome today.
And you wanna know what's so crazy too, like for me, like I felt like I had the most pressurized, stressful year of my life trying to build this business. Like ever. Like it was literally like one of the worst years ever for me. Like in terms of stress, like I like sunk into like one of like the deepest depressions I've ever experienced in my life because I wasn't hitting goals in the business. So I wouldn't hit the goal, I would get pissed, try to do it again, wouldn't hit it, and then I wouldn't even try anymore, then it would just snowball and snowball and snowball, and then I wouldn't want to do anything. Right? And it's like, that's like the danger in it, right? If you have to be an extremely strong person, and you know, I just don't feel like anything should ever make you feel like that. Right? Like, like I've never felt like that when I was doing something outside of that, right? Whatever the case may be. Like, I've never felt that kind of snowball emotions ever outside of doing this. You know, I think a lot of it has to do with, you know, like you had said, you know, that toxic reinforcement, that toxic positivity of like, you know, oh, you want to fit in, you know, you want to get recognition, you want to feel like you're a part of something. And in order to be a part of something, you have to do something out of the ordinary. You have to do something actually, you know, you have to do something crazy every single day, right? Because, you know, people don't acknowledge, you know, just the average stuff, right? So then you try to do a little bit more, you know, a little bit more. And the screwed up thing about it is too, is that they build that culture. They build that culture to try to always one up yourself, to try to seek the recognition. They say don't seek the recognition. If that's the case, then why do you recognize them?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? It's like, oh, don't seek the recognition, but oh, I did something. Oh, let me recognize you. Like, go speak in front of everybody, talk about what you did to get to that point. You're literally building that culture. So it's like, you know, you just start to see stuff, right? And it makes you think like,
And in a way, they also build a little bit of competition, even though they say it's
they build competition.
even though they say it's like, no, we're all here winning together, there's no competition here. It's like, no, there is, because if deep down, being 100% honest, if you see somebody doing a little bit better than you, yeah, you might say it out there like, yeah, congratulations. Deep down, you're like, this bitch. And you get mad at yourself, and that's what all those recognitions come from, because the people that are not doing so well will get mad that they're not being recognized, so they will push harder. And that's another tactic that they have.